Morning, Raptor Freak Alexiot's here. Tuesday morning, it's the second day off for the Raptors between games. So that means it's time for Raptor Freak Trivia. We're going to have our 14th game today. I don't know how many games we'll get in before the end of the season, but just to remind everybody, what we're playing for is a practice jersey from Raptors days past. So it's kind of an old style, but it is bona fide with the tag still on it. A Raptors practice jersey with Jerome Williams signature on it. The JYD. That's what we're playing for, y'all. Whoever gets the most points by the end of the season will get this mailed to them from me. Oh, yeah. All right, so just a couple of news and notes before we get into the trivia. I like to give some people some time to get in here at the beginning, just so we can get a couple players. The Lakers got beat by the Spurs last night. Spurs had a game last night. We're playing them tomorrow night. They beat the Lakers last night with no LeBron. LeBron got that 56 game the other night against Golden State, and then he sat last night and he watched his team lose to the Spurs by 7 last night. Yeah. And one of the interesting things about that game and that Spurs winning against the Lakers is that Popovich is now tied with Don Nelson for the most wins in the regular season NBA ever. Yeah. So now this is the crazy thing, y'all. We got to really watch out tomorrow night that the Spurs are going to be trying to win to get him that record. And we don't want to be on the other end of that record. It's kind of like the Kobe 81 point thing. You don't want to be in the record books on the other side. So hopefully these guys take this to heart. Besides wanting to get out of a 3-game losing streak and things like that, you don't want to be in the record book as the team that Coach Popovich got his miraculous, amazing, most coaches wins in the NBA regular season ever. Yeah, his next win will be that. And we're next. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. I feel good about things. Listen, the last 2 days, the team traveled yesterday to San Antonio. They're in San Antonio today with a day off. They really need to think about and look at the things that they're doing wrong right now and really try and fix things and come back with a better effort tomorrow night in the Alamo Dome or whatever dome they're playing in now in San Antonio. They just need to get on the better side of things real fast. And hopefully these 2 days off will allow the Raptors to have time to regroup, recollect themselves, maybe take a little bit of rest and time and just kind of recenter themselves on how they want to play and how they can be more effective, whether it's on offense or just not fucking up on defense and having lapse of energy or judgment in different moments with that also. So, yeah, it's a lot of that kind of different stuff. So today, the trivia subject is on the bench. We've had such bad times with the bench this year, and it made me want to go look at the history of the bench for the Raptors throughout the whole franchise history. And we've had mixed years. Some years we get no bench production like this year, and some years we get plentiful amounts of bench production. Like the picture I'm using for this stream today, the bench mob. And that is like a very good year for our bench. When we had the bench mob, you look at who's in that picture. I mean, it's Fred VanVleet, Pascal, Norman Powell, CJ Miles. These are all guys that were on our bench at that time, and they were doing badass things for us. So we were hoping we'd get a new bench mob this year. It looked like we might have had one at the beginning of the year if guys had really played to the top of their level, but it didn't happen. And there's a lot of years in the Raptors franchise history where we've had really shitty benches. And what I wanted to find out was, who have we had in the history of the Raptors franchise that has been a good bench scorer? Like somebody that we really need right now. And my criteria was, you have to play at least half the season. So if it's an 82-game season, you had to play at least 43 games. And out of those games that you played, you cannot have played more than half of them as a starter. So if you played 82 games and you started 40 games, you're fine. But if you played 41 games, you started 41 games, you played 82, then you're not, because that's half your games you started. So that criteria is you have to play at least half the season. At least more than half of your games have to be off the bench. And the other criteria was double-digit scoring for the whole year. Yeah, your scoring average had to be 10 points or above. And in the history of the Raptors franchise, we've only had 20 players do this, where they were off the bench and they averaged double-digit scoring. And that's who I want today, guys. That's who I want. And I'm going to tell you right now, this is a hard list. So I'm not doing any strikes today. It's going to be a free-for-all. So, and there's 20 names, and this is all the trivia is for the whole half hour is we got to get these 20 names of the double-digit scores off the bench for the Raptors. You go ahead and put them in. And I'm going to tell you right now, click 2 a.m. Good morning. Good to see you. G, good morning. Good to see you. All right, G, first, DeLon is wrong. DeLon is not one of the names on the list, but that's a good guess. Pirtle is wrong also. That is wrong also. Hello, Jacob McLean. We hear every morning live streaming about Raptor stuff every single day, sometime between 8 a.m. and 11 a.m. in the morning. I'll live stream, and it's an off day, so we're doing trivia today. So I hope you'll participate. It's not too late to get involved and get some points and try and win this Raptors practice jersey signed by Jerome Williams, the JYD. Oh, yeah. All right, let me see. You guys are going real fast. And I want to make sure I get all of them. I'm going to give you guys clues to get them all eventually. But, okay, Norman Powell is wrong. Norman did not. He had too many games where he started in those years. So I didn't consider him on bench. He didn't actually he wasn't a bench player enough with the high scoring. So he's not on this list. Corey Joseph is not on the list. Alister, I'm sorry. All right, G. I usually am a stickler about this because I like full names because that is a common name, but CJ Miles is correct. CJ Miles was one of the names on this list, and he's actually one of the lowest name on this list. He's number 20 on this list because he averaged 10 points a game in 2018 off the bench. So, G, you get the first points for today for getting CJ Miles because he is on this list. All right, click 2 a.m. coming in hard and heavy with our sixth man of the year. Of course, this guy's on this list. I was wondering when somebody's going to say him, and I knew it would be early. It's Lou Williams. Lou Will, Drake's sixth man. Listen, Lou averaged 15 and a half points off the bench for us when he won his sixth man of the year award in 2015. So click 2 a.m. You are getting 25 points for getting Lou Will. All right, Alister's saying Pascal. Well, the funny thing about Pascal is he has always started enough to not be considered off the bench. So Pascal is wrong. Raymond Jacob is saying Fred VanVleet. And you know what, Raymond Jacob? You're going to get points for that because Fred VanVleet in 2019, the year that we won the championship, was not a starter, but he averaged 11 points that year. So Raymond, you are getting 25 points for getting our man Fred. He is definitely on this list. So good job. Good job. You guys are doing good so far. Let's see. Sue, good morning. I hope you'll play trivia. Our topic today is double-digit scores off the bench for the Raptors in their franchise history. Who are the 20 names on my list today, Sue? Who were our best bench scorers ever in the history of the Raptors? I'm talking from the very beginning. And number one on this list was on the team the first year of the Raptors. The number one name on this list, the guy who averaged the highest amount of points off the bench for the Raptors, was in the inaugural year of the first year of the Raptors. Believe that. It's crazy. Lou Williams is second on this list. He's not number one, which is crazy. Jacob saying Kawhi Leonard. No, Kawhi started. He was a really good scorer for us. I think he led us in scoring that year. So if Sue says Fred was already got, unfortunately, guys. Raymond Jacob saying Bosch. Of course, Bosch started. When did he do that? It's not Bosch. Sue saying Pirtle. Pirtle always started, or no, he never averaged that many points over double digits, but it's a fair guess, Sue. Raymond Jacob saying JV. JV always started, Raymond. You guys got to really think about bench guys that scored off the bench. I will start giving clues on the tougher ones coming up. Okay, we're getting into the stuff, though, here. I'm seeing some good names here coming up. Click 2 a.m. We said Lou Williams already, unfortunately. You got him already. Alister saying Grievous Vasquez. You know what? Grievous Vasquez was one of our bench scorers, leading scorers for bench off the bench in his year that he was here doing that. But he is not on this list because he didn't average over 10 points. So Alister, he just barely missed the list. I think he averaged like 9-something points that year when he was coming off our bench from. But that is the right kind of thinking. Guys like Grievous Vasquez are the guys you got to think about. Raymond Jacob saying Jody Meeks. Unfortunately, Jody Meeks didn't play enough games, and he didn't average double digits in the year of the championship year. Jacob McLean coming in strong. All right, Rook, let's see what you're saying here. Chris Boucher, you know what, Jacob? This guy has a very good recent memory because Chris Boucher is the most recent Raptor to do what we're talking about today. He did it last year in Tampa, guys. He was off the bench last year, and he averaged last year 13.6 points per game. So Jacob McLean, you're on the board, 25 points for getting Chris Boucher. That is a correct answer. 2021. So that was last year. Chris Boucher did this. Raymond Jacob saying Malachi Flynn. Nope, no Malachi Flynn on this list. Alister saying Terrence Ross. You know what, Alister? You got one. Terrence Ross is on this list. He was one of our 6 men at one time that averaged double digits. It was in 2017. And Alister, you're getting 25 points. He averaged 10.4 points that year in 2017. Terrence Ross is on the list. Good job. Okay, so Raymond Jacob is going with Serge Ibaka. How hungry are you? And just a little side note with Serge right now. DeMar DeRozan has filmed an episode of How Hungry Are You? And it's going to be coming out soon. I'm really excited about this episode to see DeMar on How Hungry Are You with Serge Ibaka. And you know what? That's a right answer, Raymond Jacob. Serge Ibaka is on this list. Serge is actually number 4 all time for high score off the bench. He averaged 15.4 points off the bench in 2020. So that was more recent. Raymond Jacob, good job, man. All right, let's keep going. Sue, you got Ibaka just after him. I'm sorry. Alister, Bismack Biyombo did not ever average 10 points on the Raptors. He was only here for 1 year. Unfortunately, he is not on this list. Raymond Jacob bringing up that Jalen Harris name again. No, Jalen did not play enough. Think about it. He was very at the end of the bench the 1 year he was here. But think about that first name, Raymond Jacob, maybe. That first name of the person you just said. Click 2 AM saying Terrence Davis. Terrence Davis is a good guess, but nope. Click 2 AM. Terrence did not average double digits off the bench for us. Alister saying Damari Carroll. Damari Carroll actually started more often than not for us, and he is not on this list. G saying Patrick Patterson. Nope. No. Patrick Patterson. Once again, this is another guy who came around when Vasquez came. These guys all averaged around 8 or 9 points off the bench. There were a couple of good bench scores at that time, but none of them got double digits that year. Raymond Jacobs wondering if OG Anunoby in his second year, when he didn't start, did he get on this list? And he did not, unfortunately, Raymond. I'm sorry. But there's no strikes, guys, so don't worry. We can just guess all day until you guys get this list because there's some deep-cut names on this list. I'm not going to lie. And some of the older Raptors you may not think about, the ones from the 90s and the 2000s. There's going to be guys from all eras of the Raptors. So Jacob McLean saying Marc Gasol maybe. No, Mark started more games than often than not. It was that point when Mark came to the team, Serge went to the bench. And that's part of the reason why Serge is on this list. Raymond Jacob saying TJ Ford. That's close. The situation with TJ Ford and Jose Calderon at that time had them both kind of coming off the bench and starting, alternating. But what happened was TJ actually started more than half of the games that year that he played in because he was injured. Also. So he technically couldn't be considered a bench player that year. But that was a situation I really deliberated over because they're both there, but they both kind of started a good amount of their games. So, Terrence Ross was already got. Raymond Jacob, Jalen Rose is on this list. That's right. You took my hint and you put it back in. Jalen Rose in 2006 averaged 12.1 points off the bench for the Raptors. Yeah. I don't know if that's the year he gave up 81 to Kobe or not, but that is a name on this list, Jalen Rose. G saying Rudy Gay. No, sorry. Rudy Gay always started for the most part. Jalen's already been got. Doug Christie, Raymond Jacob, good guess. Doug Christie actually was another guy who mostly started. And he was not considered a bench guy. Alister said, Louis Scola. Wow, we're really digging deep now. We're getting Scola out in the names. I love this game. This is a good one today because we don't even have half of them yet. And you guys are making such good guesses. No, Louis Scola is not on this list. All right, Alvin Williams. That is another good. You know what, Raymond Jacob? That's actually a good guess, Alvin Williams, because he kind of got shifted around a little bit when Mark Jackson came to the team, Chris Childs. We had different point guards, and Alvin was kind of screwed around with on whether he was starting or not. He was one of our leading scorers off the bench one year, but he didn't get 10 points. So he's not actually on this list. But that is the way to think right there. Raymond Jacob saying Mo Pete. Mo Pete. Was Morris Peterson on this list? No, unfortunately, no. He didn't ever score that much off the bench, but he was starting a lot when he scored a lot there. G saying Amir Johnson. You know what? You got another one, G. Amir Johnson averaged 10 points off the bench in 2013 for the Raptors. And he was on that year. There were two guys that averaged over double digits off the bench, and you just got the other one. The other one was Alan Anderson. And that was a guy I didn't think anybody was going to get. This is the hardest name on the list. And G has gotten it. And G is showing why he is the leader and champion right now of Raptor Freak Trivia, because he just brought up the name Alan Anderson. And he's right. 10.7 points per game in 2013. So that year we had Amir and Alan both averaging over 10 points off the bench. That is fantastic work, G. I'm so proud of you. And Alister just got the other hard name that I was thinking, Jared Bayless. Who the fuck is going to remember Jared Bayless? Alister is. That's who. 2011, he averaged 10 points a game exactly off the bench for the Raptors. And did we even remember him as a Raptor? Really? Do you think of Jared Bayless as a Raptor? No, you don't. So you guys are advanced Raptor Freak Trivia people right now. Oh, yeah, you are. You got the two hardest names. I didn't think anybody was going to get these names. I thought I was going to have to give clues, but you guys are cleaning it up. I haven't given any clues yet, really, other than that Jalen one. All right, Jacob McLean saying Antonio Davis. That's an interesting idea, but no, he was always mainly a starter. But no, Alister, Morris Peterson, Alvin Williams, neither one of those. Sorry. G saying John Lucas. You know, John Lucas is a coach. When did he play when we were in existence as a franchise? You think you're thinking somebody else, John Long, maybe? Because John Lucas, way past his days, playing for San Antonio and Chicago and different teams like that in the 70s, y'all. Like, that's when John Lucas played the NBA. It was in the 70s. So I know you mean somebody different. You probably mean John Long. And it's not John Long. I'll tell you that without you having to write it in also. Doug Christie is not on the list. Rudy Gay is not on the list. Akeem is not on the list. Jason Capono is almost on the list, Alister. He was our leading scorer off the bench one year, but he didn't average 10 points. He averaged like 9-something points. So he just missed the cut. So Capono is not on the list. Jamal McGlure is not on the list also. Jamal didn't really do anything for the Raptors. When he came to the Raptors, it was kind of just like a symbolic thing. Like, this Canadian dude from Toronto is on our team finally, but he really wasn't that productive as a Raptor. Really, his best days were behind him in Miami and Charlotte. So Raymond Jacob saying Andrea Bargnani. You know what, Raymond Jacob? 25 points for you, because Andrea Bargnani is on this list. Early in Andrea's career, he came off the bench and he averaged 11.6 points per game off the bench in 2007. So yeah, Raymond Jacob, good job, man. You're doing a good job today. You've got 4 of them so far. So that's 100 points right there added to your total. Let's see if you can get some more, man, because there's still how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 9 lit names on this list still. So we're just over halfway done. Alister saying Charlie Villanueva. Yes, Alister, you know what you're talking about. Charlie Villanueva averaged 13 points off the bench in 2006. So, yeah, good job, man. I'm really impressed with y'all today. Honestly, I didn't know what – I knew today was going to be one of the hardest trivia days we've done so far, and I'm really, really loving to see how well you guys are doing, honestly. And I haven't even given you guys any clues, really. So that's really fantastic. Raymond Jacob saying Matt Bonner. No, sorry, no Red Rocket. He may have one of those cool mascot outfits that come out and throw T-shirts in the game like Muggsy and JYD, but no, he didn't do enough to make this list because he didn't average double digits. Chauncey Billups. Wow, that's interesting outside the box thinking, Alister. And sorry, yeah, Chauncey Billups is not on this list. I think mostly he was on the starting lineup when he played for us, and he wasn't here very long. Trust me, he wasn't here very long. Yeah, I think you know who I knew you were talking about John Long. and not John Lucas. Okay, G, you know what you just put down? The guy who gets you 50 points. Leandro Barboza did it twice, y'all. Leandro Barboza did it twice. In 2011 and 2012, he averaged 13.3 in 2011 and 12.2 in the next year. So Barboza gets you 50 points. That's big points right there, G. Alister saying Ed Davis. Ed Davis. Wow, we just saw Ed Davis. Then Jared Allen gets hurt, and Ed Davis comes in and he starts tearing it up for the Cavs. Like, whoa, that was a blast from the past. Rookie draft pick, Ed Davis. No, unfortunately, Ed Davis is not on this list. I'm sorry. Jacob McLean's wondering if Muggsy Bogues, my man right here, number 14, behind my shoulder right here over my head, the guy who symbolizes the Raptors' heart in the NBA. Is like the heart of a 5'3", shortest man to ever play in the NBA. That is heart. And no, unfortunately, Muggsy never averaged double digits off the bench for the Raptors. But he did come off the bench, and he was a good player. Raymond Jacob was wondering if Kem Birch is on here. No, unfortunately, Kem is not. Barboza is, though, and unfortunately, G got it just before you. G's saying Bayless. Jared Bayless already got. Sue saying, sorry, I am out. I have no more guesses. Well, stick around, Sue. If you don't have to go do something else, stick around. I'm going to start giving clues for the really hard ones that we haven't gotten. So you may know who they are just from what I say. And be ready. All right, G saying Jarrett Jack. That's a great guess, G, but he is not on this list, unfortunately. Alister saying Lloyd Daniels, Sweet Pea. Oh, man, I love Lloyd Daniels. What a great NBA story. What a fantastic, interesting dude. Throwback kind of guy, like in an era. There's throwback to another era to a throwback. Oh, my gosh, Lloyd Daniels is awesome. But no, he was not on this list, unfortunately. DeLon Wright is not on this list either, Jacob. You guys are bringing really good guesses. I'm going to start giving you clues in a second on these. G says Stojakovic. Not many people remember that Peja Stojakovic was a Raptor for a very, very brief time. And unfortunately, yeah, he's not on the list. Alister, wow, you're really digging on this one. You might have just brought up a real black eye for the Raptor franchise. Rafael Araujo. Whoa, bro. No, man, he didn't even come close to double digits in the NBA. Come on, you know that, Alister. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the clues because these last ones, they're a little tough. So we'll start with at the top of the list. Number one on this list, he was in the rookie year for the Raptors. His cousin played in the NBA also and was a good player for the Clippers and I think the Heat. And this guy was our leading scorer off the bench. He's our leading scorer ever off the bench in the whole existence of the Raptors. No one has scored as many points as him off the bench as he did in our first season as an existence as a franchise. So you got to think about this. Who was on that team in the very beginning, other than Damon Stoudemire, who was starting, obviously, and the starters? What happened was in the first year of the Raptors, we had so many good guys from the expansion draft that we had, and they weren't all that much better than each other. We had to put 5 guys in to start, but then we had some pretty talented guys coming off the bench. So it was kind of like this guy came off the bench, and he averaged 16.2 points in the first year of the Raptors, and he was a three-point specialist. So if you guys know who was a three-point specialist for the Raptors their first year, came off the bench, and has a cousin who played in the league also, who has the same last name as him. So those are really good clues right there. Raymond Jacob saying Rafer Alston. No, I'm sorry. Rafer's not on here. Skip to my Lou. I love that y'all are mentioning Rafer and Lloyd because those are two badass street ballers that are just really cool that they're a part of the Raptor history, that they have been men that have worn the Raptor jersey. And I love it. Jermaine O'Neal, Raymond Jacob, that's another decent guess, but no Jermaine O'Neal on here. He was always somebody who needed to start. Gary Trent Sr., I'm guessing you're saying, Raymond Jacob, because, you didn't delineate. I wouldn't say Gary Trent Jr., or, well, maybe you did mean Jr. I don't know. Neither one of the Trents are on this list, unfortunately. Gary Trent Sr. barely played for the Raptors. He did not average double digits. And then last year, Gary Trent Jr. wasn't here long enough to count. And then this year, he's been starting. So Marcus Camby, Jacob McLean, you know what? Is Marcus Camby on here? I thought he was on this list. Where is he? I thought he was. No, he's not on the list. I thought he was. You're close though. He was the leading scorer off the bench in one of his early years, but he didn't average 10 points. That's what it was. Alister thinks Joey Graham. Joey Graham is a nice guess, but he's not on the list. John Wallace, Raymond Jacob. Ding, ding, ding. John Wallace is on this list. He's not who I was talking about from the first year, but he is on this list from 1998. He averaged 14 points off the bench for the Raptors, John Wallace. So that's a good job, man. You're getting these deep cuts. Think about this first year of the Raptors, 3-point specialist off the bench. He averaged 16.2 points per game. He had a cousin who played in the league with the same last name, and his first name is the same as another person on this list also. So there's a first name that has two people on this list, number 1 and number 3 on this list. Both have the same first name. So think about that. Doug Christie was already guessed Jacob. He's not on here, unfortunately. Walt Williams is a great guess, Raymond Jacob, but he's not on here either. He actually started most of the games he played for the Raptors. So he's disqualified. The wizard, like Fred Savage, wizard. No, think about this. Really think about this. 3-point shooter, inaugural year of the Raptors in the Sky Dome, wearing the dinosaur uniforms in white, with Damon Stoudemire running the point. This dude was like the second leading scorer on the Raptors after Damon Stoudemire, and he was off the bench even. So it's crazy. Alvin is not on this list. He's close. He was really close to being on this list, honestly, because there was a year where he came off the bench, but he only averaged like 9-something points. It was like 9.6 or something. So he didn't actually make it. All right, I'm going to move forward, and I'm going to give some clues to the next one, and hopefully the next one will give you more information about this first-year Raptor that I'm talking about, who's number 1 on this list. All right, this next person on this list, this number 3, after Lou Williams, is somebody who left us because his cousin played for us. That's an easy guess right there. Somebody who left us because his cousin played for us. So how easy is that? I just gave you the easiest clue in the world. And his first name is the same as the first person at the top of the list. Willie Anderson. Wow. Raymond Jacob. I want to give you a half point just for knowing Willie Anderson's name. Because, yes, Willie Anderson's an original Raptor. He was a starter, though, unfortunately. All right, Raymond Jacob just got the guy I was just talking about. It's Tracy Mcgrady, y'all. When Tracy Mcgrady came into the league in 2000, he was off our bench, and he averaged 15.4 points per game. So good job. Tracy Mcgrady is number 3 on this list after Lou Will. But think about that. The guy at the top of the list has the same first name as Tracy. So if you know who that is, that's a really easy guess. Number 1 scorer off the bench in the Raptors history from the rookie inaugural year of the Raptors' existence. Has the same first name as McGrady. So it's all right there, y'all. His cousin played for the Heat and the Clippers at that time. And he was a good NBA player also. So there were 2 guys. He has the same last name as his cousin, the same first name as whatchamacallit. Vince Carter? No. Vince wasn't off the bench. I'm not saying the cousin of Tracy is on this list. I'm saying the guy that's number 1 on this list has the same first name as Tracy. So I'm just basically telling you what the guy's first name is right now. And he also had a cousin who played in the NBA. The guy who's number 1 on this list. That his last name was on another guy. McGrady is who is on this list already guessed, but there's a guy who has the same first name as McGrady, who's number 1 on this list from the rookie year, the inaugural year of the Raptors, who was a 3-point specialist off the bench, averaged 16.2 points per game off the bench. His first name is Tracy. You just need to give me his last name at this point. So Tracy Murray, that's right. Raymond Jacob got it finally. His cousin was Lamond Murray, and he played for the Clippers and the Heat, and it was Tracy Murray. Tracy Murray is the number 1 all-time bench scorer for the Raptors in its history, and it was the very first year. Yeah, Raymond Jacob got it first, guys. Yeah, I like this Jacob McLean versus Raymond Jacob. Now we just need Eric Jacob. Where's Eric Jacob? He said he was going to come on strong and get this, but he is not here. He is MIA. All right, let's see. Yeah, it was Tracy Murray for sure. G is saying Donyell Marshall. And you know what, G? You are a G because you just got another 25 points because Donyell Marshall did the feat in 2005 for the Raptors off the bench. He was averaging 11 and a half points per game. So yeah, Donyell Marshall is one of my favorite Raptors of all time because honestly, he was a badass in a lot of different ways that he did different things. And his 3-point record is so awesome. So yeah, I'm glad you got Donyell Marshall. He really deserves to be remembered in Raptors folklore, in history. Telling you. All right, how many we got left? 1, 2, 3. I got 3 names left, y'all, and I'm going to start going with them. All right, number 5 on this list, just in between Serge Ibaka and John Wallace, he's another 3-point specialist, and he did his feat in 2003. Now, he was a player who came to us from the Miami Heat and the Minnesota Timberwolves. He was on a couple different teams before he came here. He was always kind of off the bench, 3-point specialist for us. He didn't play, but maybe 2 or 3 years for the Raptors. He was here for a little bit, but not too long. 3-point specialist, played former Miami Heat player. He did this in 2003. His last name is the same last name as one of the greatest Raptors ever, one of the best players to ever play for the Raptors ever. But it doesn't spell the last name the same. And this is somebody who was on the championship team. So let's just figure it out from that. So same last name as one of the best players on the championship Raptor team. He's a 3-point specialist, used to play for the Miami Heat, and he did his scoring off the bench for the Raptors in 2003, averaging 14.3 points per game. All right, here we go. We're getting good names here. Kobe Bryant did not play for the Raptors, unfortunately. Sean Marion is not on the list. Danny Green is not on the list because Danny actually started more than he did. Vashawn Leonard, that's right, G. It's Vashawn Leonard. Is not Kawhi Leonard, but it's Vashawn Leonard. He was the guy in 2003. All right, 2 names left, and we're over a half an hour, y'all. We're in overtime. Usually it just takes a half an hour to do these games, but hey, it's going to take a little longer today. That's fine. All right, the next person on this list who's just below Donyell Marshall and Andrea Bargnani, he averaged 11.3 points per game off the bench for the Raptors in 2002. And I have his jersey over on this wall over here. If you watch my stream regularly, you'll know which 2 7 jerseys I have on my wall over there. They're not Kyle Lowry jerseys. One of them is an Andrea Bargnani jersey, and the other one is another number 7 jersey that I make fun of that I have because this player was kind of infamous. This player has told everybody, he is revealed, he has told us and said that he was drinking at halftime in between our games. And he was drunk when he played for the Raptors. And he was running around on our court almost every single game he played. He was drunk, is what he's confessed in his retirement since. And he's also in a penitentiary, or he has been in a penitentiary in the last couple years. This guy who did this in 2002, 11.3 points off the bench. Keon Clark, Summer Lowe coming in. She knows. Yeah, Summer, that's who it is. You get 25 points. Summer Lowe is on the points board for a Raptor Freak Trivia. It was Keon Clark who averaged 11.3 points for the Raptors off the bench in 2002. Yeah, good job. All right, and the last name on this list, and then we're done, y'all. Last 25 points on the board. This guy is a former dunk champion who was on the team, and he averaged 11.2 points off the bench in 1999. Yeah, so this is like early Vince years. He was off the bench for us, and he was our bench scorer at that time. He had a very famous dunk competition because it had to do with his shoes. So that may be enough clues right there for y'all to figure out who that is. Jacob McLean saying Popeye Jones. That's a good old school name, but it's wrong. Oh, Summer Lowe is a shark, y'all. This is okay. Wait a second now. Summer Lowe, you need to be here every time because I have a feeling you would be up there with G right now because you are killing it. You just got the last one too. It is D Brown. Reebok pumps. You guys remember that when he came out there and then dunked it? Yeah, D Brown is the last name on this list. And Summer, you just came in and cleaned up the garbage, just like Scotty would off of an offensive rebound putback. You just came in and did that in the trivia game. All right, so I'll just review real quick. We had Tracy Murray, number 1 all-time best scorer off the Raptors bench in the inaugural year of the Raptors with 16.2 points per game off the bench. Then you have Lou Williams, of course, he's on this list. Tracy McGrady, Serge Ibaka, Vashawn Leonard, John Wallace, Chris Boucher, Leandro Barboza twice, Charlie Villanueva, Jalen Rose, Andrea Bargnani, Donyell Marshall, Keon Clark, D Brown, Fred VanVleet, Allen Anderson, Terrence Ross, Jared Bayless, Amir Johnson, and CJ Miles. Those are the 20 Raptors all time that have averaged double digits off the bench. And I really hate how our bench has been playing lately. So it's really like I wanted to do this trivia so I could remember the days when we had great scorers off the bench and who were they. So maybe we can get somebody this offseason that can be added to this list next year because we need a double-digit scorer off the bench for next year. Because our bench has been so anemic and awful. I hate it. I hate it so much. All right, let me add up real quick and see how we did today. Raymond Jacob, you did really well today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.7. So you got what is that? 175 points, Raymond Jacob. That's almost all the points you had. You almost doubled your score total. Click to AM. 1. You got 1, so we're going to give you 25. G got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You got 7 also, so you're getting 175 added to your score, G. Let's see, Jacob McLean, you get 25 points for coming in and getting Chris Boucher. Let's see, Alister, 1, 2, 3, 75 points for Alister today. Summer Low coming in strong right at the end with 50 points right at the end there. Okay, so I think that's all. I'll do the updated points total and I'll post it in the comment down below and with who's what the new point totals are. All right, guys, remember what you're playing for. This is a practice jersey, old school practice jersey, Raptor practice jersey with Jerome Williams, Junkyard Dog's signature on it. Whoever has the most points at the end of the Raptor Freak Trivia season is going to get this mailed to them. So this is serious stuff. We're playing for something. This ain't some frivolous bullshit. All right, tomorrow, preview for the San Antonio game. We have to win. We don't want to be in the record books for being helpful to Coach Popovich, breaking the all-time winningest coach in NBA season history, that kind of stuff. We don't need to be that. Nope, we don't want to be that footnote. So, all right. Thanks for being here and playing trivia with me. It's always fun. The next one will be in like 2 weeks. The next time we have 2 days off in between games, that'll be the next Raptor Freak Trivia. I think it is in 2 weeks near the end of the month. So look out for that. I appreciate y'all for watching. If you enjoyed playing trivia or anything that happens on this channel anytime, please hit the red subscribe button. It always helps. Yeah, I really hope Fred comes back too, Click. Because honestly, we need him so bad for just our continuity and our offense and different things like that. Okay, thanks again, everybody, for being here. I hope you enjoyed it, and have a great Tuesday, and I'll see y'all tomorrow for the preview. Let's go, Raptors! Yeah!